Hey everybody, and welcome to this edition of Shit Talking bonus episode number 7, hashtag stay at home edition episode number 6. On today's show, we'll take a look at some cakes, I have a new segment, and I'm going to put on my therapist hat. I'm also going to tell you about a 6-year-old Canadian kid that I consider to be a hero. Welcome back. So I got together with Alyssa, and Chandler wasn't unable to make the meeting. But Alyssa and I decided that starting with this episode, I'm going to be posting one episode a week. Mainly because after watching all the episodes, I need to spend more time giving you better content and better quality of a show. And I can't do that when I just throw shows together. I have the girls will be in 1 or 2 of the shows every month. We're not quite sure yet. Like I said, Chandler wasn't there, so we couldn't get her take on it. But the other shows that they're not in will just be me. I have some segments that I'm going to start doing. One is called The Spotlight. And I'm kind of starting it tonight with this little kid. But with this, I also want to give an award. So if you know anybody that is doing something amazing, not outrageous, but like volunteering or bringing smiles to people's faces in a certain way or helping out their neighbor in need, please email me and let me know the story. I would love to share it, and give me all the contact information you have about them if you have any, because I would like to reach out to them and reward them for their good deed. And yes, I mean reward them. So, also my other new segment is that I want to kind of start getting guests on, and I don't mean like celebrity, what's on your new movie type guests. I mean like people that need exposure, for lack of better terms. Like my friend, her husband is a band drummer, and so they like to talk about when their gigs are and stuff like that. And so I'm going to try and get him on the show. As I said in a much earlier show, I gave my former show, The Chat, to my nephew, who is taking over the show. It's, I think, going to start premiering soon. And I'd like to get him on and talk about his show. I know he does multiple shows, so who knows? And like I said, he used to do the show with me, so maybe he and I could do a quick little episode sometime. So that's kind of what's going to happen. If the girls are going to be involved, we'll be filming on Sunday because that's the day we all 3 are together. I will tell you right now, the next episode will not contain them because next Sunday is Mother's Day, and obviously we're going to be with our mothers. So, and before I forget, happy Mother's Day to everyone out there who is a mother. You guys rock. There is no way in the world I could do anything that you guys do. I really helped my sister when my nephews were little, and I still don't know how she did it all. I don't. Anyway, so it's time for my next it's time for my cheesy monologue. Stop. Because I'm doing it much differently tonight. If you guys remember, I don't know how old any of you are, but this is definitely going to date me. If you guys remember Saturday Night Live back in the day, in the late 80s, early 90s, they had a little bit that they did called Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey, and then I want to say after he passed away, they changed it to Fuzzy Memories, but I could be totally wrong on that. I just know that it switched over to that. Anyway, and they were hilarious. People would tune in just to watch those. So I thought I would share some of my favorite ones with you for my cheesy monologue. So here we go. I think that the first fly swatters were some sort of striking surface attached to some sort of handle. To me, it's always a good idea to carry 2 sacks of something around with you when you walk around, because if someone asks you for help, you can say, "Sorry, I got these 2 sacks." I feel like that the main reason police don't want people walking in on a plane crash is that they might lay down, and when somebody starts to walk by them, jump up and yell, "What was that?" If you ever fall off the Sears Tower, just go really limp. Because maybe you'll look like a mannequin and people will try to catch you because, hey, free dummy. The face of a child will say it all, especially the mouth. If anyone says that they hate war just as much as I do, all I can say is you better have a knife. If a kid asks where rain comes from, tell them God is crying. If they ask you why God is crying, tell them, what did you do wrong? My friend got offended when I used the word puke, but hey, to me that's what her cooking tasted like. Maybe in order to understand the word, to understand mankind, we need to look at the word itself. Mankind. Basically, it's made up of two separate words. Mank and eind. What do these words mean? It's a mystery, as is mankind. And finally, my favorite one ever. Whenever I see an old lady slip and fall on a wet sidewalk, my first instinct is to laugh. But then I think, what if I were an ant and she fell on me? Then it wouldn't seem quite so funny. So this is a segment that we had written for the very first episode. When I put out the promo and I put my advice segment and all that stuff, we actually got letters of some advice. I got 4 letters. I chose 3 of them. I may do the other one later on. But I'm not using any real names. I know the people's names. Some of them I may not know. I don't think I know. But I'm not going to use their real names. Either they provided me a fake name or I gave them one. And tonight when I post this, and I'm going to email them, tell them I finally posted it and what the name I gave them was, so that way obviously they know their letter, so they'll know which one it is, but I am not using real names. This is something I wanted to do a segment like this for a long time, but as I said, I used to do the show with my nephews, and I thought that maybe this segment may get too mature for how young they were when we were doing it. So now that we're adults, I'm going to start doing it again. These are real relationship advice letters written by real people. Yeah, so let's get going. They all kind of link together, and the whole moral is think about it. Here we go. I caught my boyfriend looking at male porn on the internet. He says he was just curious and that he has only done it on 1 or 2 other occasions. Before this happened, though, we rarely had sex and never spent time together. We've been together for 2 years, and I'm afraid that maybe I'm just here to make him look heterosexual. I am presently staying with some friends, but talk to him on the phone every day. I miss him terribly, but I'm scared to go back and feel uncomfortable around him. He says he wants only me and that I can trust him, but I don't feel like I can. What should I do? From scared. So, first of all, no one can tell you who you can trust. Only you can tell you that. And I wish that there were a big thing that we can ask who our best friends should be and can we trust this person, but that's from inside of you. Just because he's looking at gay porn doesn't mean he's gay. Chances are he is, but it doesn't mean he is. And I have a perfect example of that. A while back, a friend of mine called me, and he's straight, totally straight. I mean, it's fun to flirt with him because he gets kind of freaked out by it. I just love his reaction. But one time he called me and was like, dude, he's like, a couple months ago for my birthday, some coworkers got me a gag gift of a butt plug. Last night we tried it and I kind of liked it. Does that make me gay? No. Just because you're into something like that doesn't make you gay. Maybe he was just curious as to how gay guys have sex. That totally could happen. I'm confused how lesbians have sex, honestly. Is it like bumper cars? I don't know. And I can't know unless I watch porn. But no one can tell you if you can trust someone but you. And maybe you need to take some time away from him to think about that. And that'll also give him, not saying that this is why you're doing it, but maybe that'll give him the time that he needs to think if he isn't, or whatever. Or maybe he was just looking at it because he was curious about it. Literally just curious about it. So that's what I can say to you. The next two letters, this next letter, the person who wrote this letter, I really want you to pay attention not only to what I say in your letter, but what I say into the next person's letter. And I'll explain all that in just a minute. So here's the first letter. I am 15 years old and I have never had a boyfriend. It seems like everyone my age and younger is progressing with their love life, and I haven't even had my first kiss. I think I have a lot to offer, and I don't know why things have ended up this way. I'm afraid that I'm going to get so left behind that no one will want me. I like a few guys, but they hardly know I exist. It's especially hard because I just moved to a new town a year ago and I still don't know anyone very well. I'm really lonely and I'm getting desperate. Am I destined to be dateless forever? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. From Dateless. You answered your question in so many ways. I'm going to start at the beginning and read it in chunks and explain to you how you answered your own question. First of all, let me say this. I have 4 nephews, 11, 15, 17, and 19. I know what's going on. I know people are having sex. I get it. I know kids are having sex. I don't agree with it, but you can't stop it from happening. And I know the younger they get nowadays, the more common it is. But don't be in a rush. One thing you said near the end of the letter really kind of bothers me. And it says that when you said I'm really lonely and I'm getting desperate. Don't give away your first kiss. Don't give away your virginity to someone that you don't know, one, very well, and I'll get to that point in a second, but someone that you wouldn't in the future, God forbid you get pregnant by him, and then later down the road you're ashamed that you gave up your virginity to this person, but now because you had a kid, you're linked to him together forever. Whether you get married or not, he's going to be in your life forever. You don't know. And what I mean by not knowing someone, you said yourself that it's especially hard for me because I just moved to a new town a year ago and I still don't know anyone very well. You need to know, like, for example, my first boyfriend, first of all, we didn't start dating until 17. We were best friends since first grade. So we knew each other like the back of our hands, but recently I've gotten to know the front of my hand very well. Anyway, so just because, and I have a feeling if he were still alive, we probably would be together still. But you have to know the person like you know yourself. And at 15 years old, I don't think you know yourself very well enough to give that away. It's something, and I know the term is overused and overplayed, but it's something, and it totally doesn't really comprehend very well to some people, but it's very special. I look back and I am glad that it was with the person that it was with. I wouldn't have changed that for a minute because at the time we thought we were going to be together forever. And I probably would have been, but you need to know, like I said, the person like the back of your hand, inside and out, what they love, what they hate, what scares them, what makes them happy, what makes them smile, what makes them cry, everything about them. And again, just because you're desperate, don't go out and do something that like I said, you are going to regret down the road. And I want you to pay attention to this next letter because it proves an even bigger point that I'm going to tell the next person that wrote this letter. Hi, I am in college right now and maintaining a long-distance relationship. My boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years and things are going very well. We're both pretty serious about each other and have even discussed marriage before. However, I met this guy, let's call him X, a while ago, and we're just friends. I told him I like him just as a friend, but he's been sending me signals that say I'm more than a friend to him. I feel like I have an incredible connection with X, like we're soulmates, and connect and share our interests on a level I've never experienced. While I still love my boyfriend, I like X a lot. I don't really know where to draw the line between X and I, or even if I can. Confused at college. Okay, dateless. Let me clear this up real quick. This person dated someone through high school, is now in college, and thinks they met who could truly be the love of their life, their soulmate, and is connecting with someone she doesn't even connect like with her boyfriend, or in a way that she doesn't even connect with her boyfriend. So just because you dated in high school or when you were 15 doesn't mean it's going to be forever. You could meet Mr. Right 10 years from now. You don't know. But don't rush into anything. Confused at college. You need to take time to think about you. Don't talk to your boyfriend. Even don't talk to your boyfriend every day. You can even tell him that you need time to think about things, that your life is moving on and you need to reevaluate things. And I am personally torn whether you should tell him why. I feel that you need to be honest with him, but I'm afraid that telling him the truth, and I'm not saying lie to him. I'm not saying lie to him at all. But not telling him the truth, if you do, and you try things with X and it doesn't work out, and you go back to boyfriend, he might think I'm just the rebound, or I'm just second place. I'm second fiddle. You don't want to put anyone in that position. And that's the only reason I say you may not want to tell them the whole story. Normally I would say confess to everything. On the flip side of that, don't tell X. You can tell X that you broke up with boyfriend, but don't tell him why. And just see where things progress. If he is if you think he's sending you signals now, and you find out you broke up, he finds out you broke up with X or with your boyfriend, maybe he'll send stronger signals. And maybe that's what you need to see in order to see if he's right or not. And maybe there's been times where I've don't want to say fallen madly in love with somebody, but I thought someone and I were further in our relationship than they thought. And I considered us dating. Maybe he does, and then once we started dating, I realized he wasn't the person I wanted to be with. And maybe that will happen. For example, I've had a lot of things happen in my life. I have a lot of examples about everything. For example, when I was in college, umpteen years ago, I started dating this guy. We dated for 2 weeks, and it was really weird. Like, we were out to dinner one night, and we were laughing and joking, and all of a sudden, it just kind of clicked between the two of us that we were just better off friends. We were meant to meet to be best friends. And we still talk once, if not twice a month, to this day. And I am 37, and that happened when I was 22. So, and he ended up finding the love of his life, and they're together, and I'm happy for them. They cannot be the cutest couple, or that sounded wrong. They are the cutest couple. They are perfect together. You'll know deep down if you are allow yourself to take the time, experience without talking sexually, experience what X has to offer, and make a decision. And those are my 3 advice letters. If I would love for all 3 of you to please, in the future, a couple months from now, let me know what happened, and maybe I'll give updates on the show. So we'll see. I have a new segment, and just so y'all know, I live in a small town, and anytime I hear the fire siren go off, I, just like everybody else in this town, open my phone, open my scanner, and see what's going on, because I'm nosy. That inspired me to create this segment called Here Come the Popo. Well, that was my Hitch 'em or Ditch 'em intro that I forgot to play, so now at least you got to see it at the end. But here's my real Here Come the Popo intro. Okay, so I'm going to put it up over here. I'm going to read you what it says. Here we go. Walmart police received a report of a newborn infant in the dumpster. Upon investigation, it turned out to be a burrito. Either that was one tiny-ass baby or one huge-ass burrito. A Lamphere Court woman said her son was attacked by a cat and that the cat would not allow her to take her son to the hospital. Is this a cat? Are you being catnapped? Sorry. A man reported that a squirrel was running circles on Davis Drive and wasn't sure if the squirrel was sick or had been hit by a car and was injured. As police were responding to the scene, they ran over the squirrel. Case closed. A 38-year-old male living on Cole Avenue reported that his home was invaded on April 9th. The man said he was sitting at home alone, and this is real, masturbating, watching porn, when a man came into his basement holding a gun and began videotaping him. The man reported that before the intruder left, he fed some mushrooms to his dog, which killed the dog. First of all, that's sad. I'm not going to do a joke about that, because I would hate it if somebody did that to my dog. But I'm curious as to what kind of mushrooms. And did the dog have a good trip on the way out? Sorry, I said I wouldn't. Here we go. The Learning Center. I skipped ahead. Sorry. The Learning Center on Hudson Street reports a man across the way stands at his window for hours watching the center from his window, freaking out some of the parents. After further investigation, they found out that it was just a life-size cardboard cutout of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hey. And he will come back. In Sonora, a man entered the sheriff's department to ask if there was any legal way of murdering someone who had been harassing him. Sorry, I'm getting really confused. I need to start labeling these different. Here we go. At 9:36 a.m., suspicious person or circumstance, a woman from Northfield turned over to police some marijuana that she found in a parking lot. So, if you're missing your bag of weed, please contact the police. And it literally says that. I didn't add that in as a joke. But if you do go get it, you must be stoned already because they'll probably arrest you. Part of me tells me that's a sting, just to see if somebody would come in and claim it. An assault at 2:30 p.m. on the 1500 block of Auburn Way. 2 students of an unspecified gender said they were assaulted in some way on their way home from school by an unspecified number of assailants, perhaps some sustaining unspecified injuries, or none at all. Police didn't say. Did they tell you anything about the assault? I know that's not funny, but I just wanted you to know that one was done. Theft. A woman in the 1900 block of 129th Lane Northeast reported on October 15th that someone must have stolen her mail because she did not receive any birthday cards from some of her friends. Her name was conceded. At 612, at 612, the 4700 block of Portside Drive, a Vermilion man put icy hot on his woman's vibrator. The divorce is pending. I'm not even going to make a joke about that. That just seems painful. So in this next segment, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know what it is with cake decorators. They take everything literally, just like kleptomaniacs. They take everything literally, especially for an over-the-phone order, instead of just asking them to clarify. So this is part of my segment, Oops. So this first one, she apparently was trying to joke on the phone with the order taker and came out like this. Happy birthday, Dick. Ha ha ha, don't write that. His name is Matt. Really? Why would you think they'd say don't write that if they didn't want you to write it? The next orders asked for the number 30 with some sprinkles and stars around it, so that's what they got. This next one needs to go back to school to begin with. Not just heard it wrong and put the wrong thing like the last two. Literally needs to go back to school. Happy birthday, Erica. Please proofread this cake. You not only spelled proofread wrong, but you spelled cake, so clearly you didn't proofread this cake. This one, they wanted the name specifically spelled right to be spelled Mark with a C. Baby. This next one, the person said they wanted nothing written on their cake, and that's what they got. I'm really confused about this, what the coach in this next one was celebrating, because I really hope that someone didn't get the coach a congratulations cake for his big purple balls. Because I don't think you should be celebrating a coach's big purple balls. Just me. Congratulations, Travis. You graduated from the class of Travis. This next one, I have to say, is my favorite one. And you have to just look at the little girl's face after you read what the cake says. And I don't know why they would even considered to put this on the cake unless it was literally said to put it on the cake. But the little girl, her face just says it all. Happy birthday, loser. That's right. They put happy birthday, loser. Were you calling the person a loser, the order taker a loser or something? Or are they pissed off at you and was trying to get back at you? Anyway, this one asked to have a little car put on the cake, but again was misread. Happy birthday, George. Underneath that, a little car. And finally, this one I think was just taken out of context. Thank you, Nancy and Kay. 2-hour new adventures. You can have new adventures, but they can only be 2 hours long. So it's time for my final segment. Can you believe it? I didn't do a ya burnt, and I'm not going to. This isn't a tease to bring it up. No, I'm kidding. It's not. It's actually the end of the show. So on today's show, I'm ending the show with a smile, and I want to give you guys all a smile. I'm going to introduce you to a 6-year-old. I'm going to show you a picture. I don't have him on Skype or anything. I would love to get him on Skype. I would love you to do my monologue, little dude. I hope that one of these days you can, and I think your monologue would be better than mine, to be honest. So here we go. 6-year-old Callaghan McLaughlin, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong, has a new routine. Every day he wakes up early, does his homework, eats his breakfast, and sets up his joke stand outside. His goal? To spread joy and laughter to his neighbors without violating any social distancing rules. Usually, his mother says, Callaghan operates a lemonade stand around this time of year, but because of the pandemic, she chose a safer alternative. So, what are some of Callaghan's favorite jokes, you ask? Here we go. What do you call a lazy kangaroo? A pouch potato. What do you call a bug that's bad at football? A fumblebee. What's a duck's favorite snack? Cheese and quackers. And finally, where did the bull take the cow on a date? Dinner and a movie. Well, McLaughlin's neighbors aren't the only ones who appreciate Callaghan's efforts to make others laugh. Canadian actor Ryan Reynolds tweeted that Callaghan is a hero. I agree, little dude. There's nothing better than the feeling you get when you put a smile on somebody's face, especially if you don't know them. That always makes me smile. Keep being like you. Keep being you. And like me, keep making people smile. I'd love to have you on the show, little dude. Maybe even one time write me a monologue, and I'll do it for you. So please, if anyone out there knows him or knows a way to get in touch with him, please let me know. If you'd like to read, that was only bits and pieces of the story. If you'd like to read the whole story, I will put the link in the description below. Until next time, everybody. And yes, I'm actually ending the show. I'm not going to surprise you and do the burn. Until next time, everybody, as usual, stay healthy, hashtag stay at home, and always remember, anytime you need to come back, anytime you need some shit talking.